Ohio Means Jobs in Montgomery County. They will introduce themselves, and throughout the presentation, then they'll provide you with some additional information as well. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. It's pretty unstructured session, so if you have anything, just stop us and ask us, and we'll do our best to answer it for you. So, introduce ourselves.
Hi, my name is Molly Weber. I'm with Business Services, Talent Services Division.
And my name is Gina McAlpine, and I'm also with Business Services, Talent Services as well.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kathy Black, and I am also with Business Services in Montgomery County, Adult Career Services.
So what we're going to do today is give you some information. Some of these slides on here I'm going to run through pretty quickly because they're going to present a lot more information when they speak. So we were contacted once the notification was made that tenneco was going to close. So that's how we become involved. So everything that we do, that we talk about today, is to help you move forward in your career on what you want to do next. We're going to go over some of the benefits and opportunities that you may be able to take advantage of. The Ohio Means Job Centers, what's available there, as well as information on filing for unemployment, maintaining your unemployment, and things like that. So, they'll give you information about the local Ohio Means Job Center. I'm going to go ahead and just get into the unemployment part of it. And then once we're finished with that, my partners here will speak on local services available. So once you become, I guess do you guys have your layoff date already?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know some people did, some people didn't. It's been a
We're the only ones.
Okay. It's been a moving target lately, from what we understand. So once you become unemployed, you can file for benefits. July 1st is on a Friday, correct?
Yeah.
So if you've worked all week, you really want to wait till Sunday to file. Unemployment weeks run Sunday through Saturday. So there's no real need, since you've earned money all that week, no real need to file until Sunday, whatever that would make it, the 3rd or whatever. So that would be the first available time you should apply for benefits.
Will we be doing a mass layoff number?
I will check with Andrea. They had that information when we were working with John Penn. I'll make sure that Andrea has that. That's up to them to file. I mean, we can't issue it unless they request it. Hopefully, that would make things a lot easier for everybody. Actually, we can bring me of that. It's just in my bag there. So you can receive up to 26 weeks of unemployment over a 52-week benefit year. What that means is your claim is good for 52 weeks. However, when you divide the money out, you have 26 weeks of payments. The only way it would really be extended out beyond the 26 weeks is if you worked a part-time job or something and it was offset by your income. It could be your pot of money that you would receive, you could extend that out a little bit longer. Unemployment benefits are taxable. You can withhold 10% for federal tax. We don't withhold any state income tax. So remember next year when tax time rolls around that you may owe or not get anything back from the state income tax. They'll send you a 1099 at the end of January for the 2022 year. During the first week that you apply for benefits, there's a waiting week, which means you go through all the steps to become eligible for your unemployment. However, you don't receive a payment. It's not money lost, it's just money that's tacked on to the end. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks to process your claim. Hopefully with a mass layoff number, if that route is taken, it would be processed much quicker. What happens with a mass layoff number is the employer requests that. When you go in and file for benefits, you enter that mass layoff number, and basically unemployment has all that information about you. They know that you're laid off through no fault of your own. and things move much more quickly than they would otherwise. You can have direct deposit or a debit card issued to you. I don't know if you guys were here or closed during the pandemic, or if you had a debit card before. Unemployment still thinks that you have that debit card. If you need a replacement, then you would need to call unemployment. In your packet, there's, on the back of the agenda, there's some numbers that you can call to have that replaced. Direct deposits, you would just need to provide your bank routing and account number. Child support, if you pay child support, they can withhold up to 50% of your payment to cover your child support obligation.
So you went back to the pandemic. Let me ask you this. So I've heard a lot of different things about unemployment now.
Okay?
So will I have to start a new email address then?
No.
Okay, because I keep hearing you have to start it because of all the new strict guidelines, because of the, people fraudulent stuff.
Yep, you should not have to get a new email. They do have a new login
I've seen that,
sequence, where it used to be like your social security number and 8-digit
Right.
numerical number. That has changed,
Okay,
but you shouldn't have to change your email.
great.
So you must be unemployed at the time of filing, work 20 weeks in covered employment, have an average weekly wage of $298, and you must sign into a highmeansjobs.com and create a profile. So, like he mentioned, things were a little bit different during the pandemic. A lot of the requirements were waived by the governor's office. You didn't have to do them. Those have since expired. So everything we talk about today is still in effect. So when you file, you have two options. You can file online or file by phone. The easiest way, if you have access, you can file online. You can do that 24/7. If you file by phone, it's Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mondays and Fridays are the heaviest call volume days. You can call any day during the week and it's still going to process your claim during the same week. So if you call in and you're not there on Monday, you can't get in on Monday, it's no big deal. You can, try on Tuesday. Regardless of whether you file by phone or online, make sure you have all your information, social security number, ID, your information, contact information for the employer. That should, if you guys have been here a while, that information should already come up. Any dependents, a dependent could be your child living in your home under the age of 18, or an eligible spouse, or a disabled child over the age of 18 may qualify as a dependent. You need your routing and account number if you choose direct deposit. He mentioned some of the security measures. You may be required to send in copies of your driver's license, social security, birth certificate in some instances. Some people have been required to send in a copy, a selfie, holding their ID up so the ID and the photo match, you and your ID match. If you need to do that, you can always go into the Ohio Means Job Center and they can provide some guidance for you to be able to do that and submit those in. The Ohio Means Job Centers that they're going to talk about, they're not unemployment offices, so they can't help you. They really can't tell you anything about your claim, but they can provide you some guidance on getting logged in and how to file your claim and things like that. If you have questions about any of the correspondence that you receive, they may be able to provide you some guidance with that. The phone number and web address is on the back of your agenda. We do encourage you to type the online web address into the browser rather than doing like a Google search for Ohio unemployment. Again, some fraudulent people out there trying to get your information, so make sure that you go to the proper website. This currently is what the website looks like. So if you get to a website that doesn't look like this here, you're at the wrong spot. And we don't want you to provide any information to any fraudulent individuals. On the bottom left, you can click on employee. On the upper right-hand side, it says unemployment login. Down at the bottom, there's a lot of information if you want to check about any of the requirements for unemployment. That information is provided there as well. After you click the login, read the release of information and click I agree. Here is something different. This is where you're going to, if you've already had a claim, you can log in. It may allow you to, this just changed within the last few weeks. You may start with entering your social and 8-digit numerical number. It's going to automatically require you to set your Ohio ID. That's what they're going to. So it'll be a unique login and password for you that you set yourself. They're doing away with the social and 8-digit PIN. Also on the home page, down at the bottom, it's cut off, but there is a live chat feature. If it's available, you can ask them questions regarding your claim. They may be able to answer some basic questions with you that way. Down at the bottom, there's also information about benefits, locations of high needs job centers. If you're a veteran, you can click on that. There's lots of information about that. This is your Ohio ID login. You can just create the account, follow the instructions, and you can go through and get your Ohio ID. If you receive, if you have any other income or severance, you need to disclose that. So if you don't know the amount, just put that, you're receiving a severance. And when unemployment will ask tenneco those questions about how it's allocated and things like that. If it's allocated to your last day of work, it does not affect your unemployment. If it's allocated out over time, then you would not be able to be eligible to receive benefits until after that's exhausted.
We'll get a one-time check within 30 days.
Okay, so you can still get a one-time check. The question that goes to from unemployment to tenneco is going to be how it's allocated. They can allocate it over time and still pay you in one check. They can allocate it on your last day of work and pay it out over time. So it's all how they answer it. We've had a lot of discussions. From what I understand, they're going to allocate it to your last day of work, is what we've been told. However, in my 12 years of doing this, sometimes what we're told and what you're told and what actually happens can be two different things.
We're supposed to be paid out on the first,
So,
and then supervision is different, they're paid out over time.
so we'll make sure that they have as much information to answer those questions. And if they file for a mass layoff number, everybody's going to be the same in that group, so it shouldn't be an issue. If you would have an instance, you can always file an appeal with unemployment, and they will review your claim.
I got a question.
Yep.
So you saying when we get our check for the severance package, we won't get no benefits until that is over with?
It depends on how tenneco answers the question. So from what we were told, you would still be able to receive benefits immediately following your layoff. If they answer that it's allocated over time, you would not be able to receive those benefits until after. So you got $5,000, we're gonna divide it up basically over how many weeks, and you wouldn't be able to get that money until your unemployment, until after that's exhausted.
So if they said it's what, 10 weeks, then we won't be eligible until the 10 weeks?
It depends on how they answer the question. You could still get 10 weeks in a lump sum and allocated to your last day of work.
We're getting lump sums. They're not
So-
spreading it over like he said, the 5,000, it's like you're getting a check for the next 5 weeks. You're not eligible until after that. But the way that we had it worded in the contract is that they're doing it at a lump sum.
So, as long as they honor that, you should be good to go. But just know that if it's questioned by unemployment, you always have the option, they're gonna ask for documentation. If it's in your letter or in your contract, then you may be asked to provide that.
Yeah, we had it worded in our contract.
So, is the union going to supply us with a letter saying that? Or-
No, we should have the letters out there, but I'll try and find one.
So, if you are a single individual, the maximum you would receive, it's about half of your average weekly wage with a maximum. If you're a single individual with no dependents, the maximum you would receive is $530. 1 to 2 dependents, $642, 3 or more, $715, if your wages were in that average weekly wage. Again, on the website, there is a calculator, and you can enter in your information, and it's pretty accurate to tell you how much unemployment that you would be eligible to receive. So you can do that part of it now if you wanted to. So after you file your initial claim, you're going to file weekly claims for each week that you're eligible to receive benefits, which means that you are either totally unemployed or you're earning less than your weekly benefit amount. Again, weeks run Sunday through Saturday. The earlier you file your week, you can file it at basically 12:01 Sunday morning. Typically, you're going to get a payment on Tuesday unless there's a holiday. Don't wait to file your weeks. If you're unable for whatever reason, make sure you call in. Unemployment's not too lenient anymore, so if you fail to file within the specified amount of time, they may not backdate that week for you, so you may not be eligible for that week. So just make sure you do it every week. You can log in, unemployment.ohio.gov, use your ID your login information. Your new claims instruction sheet will tell you the dates that your claim is valid. So when you file your weekly claim, you must verify that you're able, available, and actively seeking work unless otherwise instructed. Otherwise instructed would typically be is if you are in a full-time training program. We're going to talk about TAA benefits, trade adjustment assistance, and WIOA, which is Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. If you're in a full-time training program, you may get the job seeking requirement waived. You still go in and file your claim every week. Your questions just change. Instead of asking you if you look for work, it'll ask you if you attended training that week. You enter that information and would still be paid like you normally would. 2 work search activities per week if you're required to look for work. Work search activities could be jobs that you applied for that week. It also could be if you attended a job fair, hiring event, posted your resume on Hiring Jobs. All those things count as an activity. Make sure you keep track of that. Just keep a notebook or a spreadsheet, whatever you want to do. You may be required to produce those as part of an audit for unemployment. You may be required to produce it if you're looking for training to prove that you've been looking for work. Once you enter these into the computer system, you are not able to retrieve those. So if somebody asks you, what did you do for week ending July, whatever, you'll be able to produce those.
So if we go to a job fair, how do we prove that?
You just write down, it's not like you have to get a signed paper from the principal. You're just putting, you attended the job fair on such and such day. So OhioMeansJobs.com is the state's website for employment services. It's powered by Monster, so there's all kinds of job listings out there. You are required as an unemployment claimant to create a profile. There's also a couple other things that you're required to do that we're going to talk about here in just a moment, but it offers computer job matching. You may receive emails saying, here's a job that you might be interested in. You're not required to apply for that specific job, it's just a notification that something matches your job profile that you put in there. You can save all your job searches on High Means Jobs in your profile, that way you can go back and take a look at that. A lot of people are familiar with Indeed or Glassdoor, whatever it may be. High Means Jobs is just another opportunity, another avenue for you to use for employment. But there are a couple things that you need to do through High Means Jobs. Right now, there's about 250,000 jobs posted on the website, so there's a lot of opportunities out there. Some you may be interested in. So this is the homepage of highmeansjobs.com. Go up to the My Profile, that little blue box on the right-hand side, and you can sign up or log in if you've already signed up. One thing that you want to remember, if you haven't registered on highmeansjobs.com, you want to use the same email address for unemployment as you do for highmeansjobs.com. And that email address cannot be used by a different person. So if your spouse used that same email address, you're not able to do that. That may be where you would have to get a new one. Make sense? All right. So employers have the opportunity to register. They can post job opportunities. They can search resumes. So you may be contacted directly about an employment opportunity. Again, doesn't mean that you're required to apply for it. It's just them notifying you that they have a position, they've looked at your resume, and might be something that you're interested in. If you would turn down a job, if you're offered a job, and I don't know what you guys make here exactly, but you know, if they're offering you a job substantially less, it doesn't mean you have to take it. Just make sure you notate it, that way if anybody questions it, you know that you've turned it down and what the reason was. The wage was too low, the job was up in Cleveland, you're not moving to Cleveland, and you're not driving every day, whatever it is. When you post your resume, you're required to post your resume on highmeansjobs.com. You do not anymore. I would just leave an email address. If you want them to contact you by phone, you can do that. I would not put your personal address on there. I probably wouldn't put my phone number on there. If an employer wants to get a hold of you, they can just send you an email, but that's up to you. Down at the bottom, there's a lot more tabs, but you can, information on building your career, training, opportunities, military service. Any veterans in the room? Thank you for your service. There are, military veterans have a priority of service for training and things such as that. Restored citizens, if there's background issues that need to be addressed with those barriers. So you can always, there's a lot of opportunities on a High Means Jobs. You can use that now. You don't have to wait until you're unemployed. It's available to anyone. Again, if you haven't registered for High Means Jobs, by the time you file for unemployment, it's going to create a temporary login and password that's sent to you. You'll be required to change that. Again, if you have an existing account, you can still use that. Just make sure you have the same email address for both unemployment and a High Means Job. You can log in, click on Job Seekers. Over to the right, it says Unemployment Claimants here, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. Right now, your login for unemployment and a High Means Jobs are going to be the different logins. So make sure you keep track of those. 2 requirements to be eligible to receive benefits. You must upload your resume into highmeansjobs.com. You must complete the career profile. Your new claim instruction sheet will give you the due dates. We encourage you to do those as soon as you can. You know, if you need help with a resume, we've got the mobile unit out front. They can help you with a resume. They're here today and tomorrow from 8 to 4. So there's people out there that can help you. You can always visit the Ohio Means Job Center. Their hours are 8 to 5, so they can help you there as well, create a resume. If you're not comfortable doing that yourself, they can also help you upload it to Ohio Means Jobs and provide you with some guidance on completing the career profile. Your new claim instruction sheet will give you the dates. Just get it done, over with. You don't have to worry about it anymore for the year. Failure to complete activities by the deadline could result in denial of benefits until completion. If you don't do it by the due dates, it will stop your unemployment. You won't be eligible for those weeks in which you did not have those items completed. So again, it's just easier to get it done. Any questions about unemployment at this point? I know we went through it pretty
You have to
quickly.
register without Ohio Means Job.
You are required to do that, yep. You're required to register, you're required to do those two things, the resume and the career profile. Tenneco employees Tenneco applied for trade adjustment assistance through the Department of Labor. It was approved. You write down the entire program is in a renewal process, so I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. Make sure that your address and everything is correct with Tenneco before you leave for a multitude of reasons. But I would encourage you to write this trade_petitions at jfs.ohio.gov email address down. That's who you're going to contact. You can take a picture, whatever. If you have questions about the trade program, by law, they cannot contact you until after you become unemployed. But if you are interested, there's a lot of opportunities. There's training opportunities, on-the-job training, a wage supplement for workers over 50 or 55, I can't remember offhand. A lot of good things out there, but they can't contact you until after you become unemployed. Depending on how long it takes for them to know that you become unemployed, you can, the day after you become unemployed, you really want to take advantage of these services. At least contact them, go through the process of getting registered, which is watching the video, acknowledging a couple papers. Then if you choose not to participate in it, all you have to do is withdraw, let them know you're not interested. But because there are time constraints on the TAA program, you want to make sure that you at least notify them, get as much information as you can, and then you can make that determination. So, if anybody's interested in changing careers, maybe getting some short-term training certifications, like, PLC, welding, anything like that, this can help you do that through the trade program. They're going to talk about the WIELA, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity. That's another partner program that can work with you as well to provide additional services.
Are they located in the job center too?
The WIELA program is in the job center, yes. The trade petitions, the trade program, those people are located across the state. Typically, you're going to interact with them either through email or over the phone. If it's a requirement that you need to meet them in person, they could make arrangements and meet you at an Ohio Means Job Center. But you live in Montgomery County, your trade professional might be located in Cleveland. It doesn't mean that they're located locally. But if necessary, they could potentially meet you in person. But anymore, that doesn't happen a whole lot.
So will we have to go up there for training?
No, absolutely not. So if you're interested in training, I don't know what you want to do, you're going to look at local places. Do you live in Montgomery County?
Yes.
Yep. So they're going to have a lot of information about local trade, training places. You can look at that, work with your WIELA person. They can work with the trade unit and help get that plan started. No, just your person, your contact person may be somewhere else within the state. But you're going to still utilize local training providers and things like that, so.
So we go outside and get that set up?
Actually, they can't do anything until you are laid off.
Past that?
Yeah, so after you're laid off, just email them, tell them who you are. You worked at Tenneco, you got laid off on July 1st or whatever the date is. And then they should have someone contact you. They're either gonna contact you by email, or may contact you by phone, whatever they have. Those phone numbers typically don't show up, it's not gonna show up. To my knowledge, they all have cell phones, like mine doesn't show up with a number, it's restricted or blocked, whatever it says. So they should leave you a message and you can call them back. If you don't take that call, they may also send you an email to have them contact you. Any other questions about that program? But definitely take advantage of it. At least email them once you become unemployed and let them know that you want to start that process, find out what's available. Okay. Any other questions on that? All right, I'll be here the rest of the session in 2 seconds. All right, just- Do you guys have your layoff letters? I know.
No.
Not yet. I know they were working on
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Kathy Black. I'm with Business Services, and it is at the Job Center. We're located at 1111 Evans C. Moses, with a red double door entrance with job services above it. I'm just going to give you a little overview of some of the services that we provide through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, better known as WIOA. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to just jump right in, and I'll be more than willing to assist.
Are we not working?
I don't think so. Okay, customer service, the difference is measurable, and we do pride ourselves on customers providing excellent customer service. So our mission is to promote and support a workforce system that creates value, offers individual, employers, and community the opportunity to achieve and sustain economic prosperity. The Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act became into law on July 22nd, 2014. You might have heard of WIA, W-I-A, which was prior to the WIOA. And what is WIOA? It's a comprehensive range of workforce development activities which benefit job seekers, laid off workers, youth, incumbent workers, new entrants to the workforce, veteran persons with disabilities, and employers. And again, I would like to extend thank you for your service to the veterans who are here in the house. You are a priority of service. And then WIOA is a non-entitlement program. It is self-directed training and employment. To access the WIOA services is based on a few factors. It's program eligibility, and again, all of you would definitely be eligible because you qualify as a dislocated worker, which means we would not go by your income, so you would automatically be eligible as far as income guidelines. Individual appropriateness. Now, the individual appropriateness means that whatever training that you're deciding to go into, we would have to ensure that you would be eligible or marketable and employable for that particular training, based on experience, education, and any other factors that may be taken into consideration as far as appropriateness is concerned. And then we also go over your career goals. We have many different funding resources, And then also, any challenges to training and or employment, we'd like to provide additional resources to help you overcome any challenges that you may have to any training or employment. In the adult career services, we provide academic training. Now, all we do is pay for the training that you're interested in. We are not affiliated with any training facility or college, any of that. All we do is pay. You get to go to the school of your choice. Say you wanted to do CDL, heavy truck driving. We're not gonna go out and find the school. However, we can give you a list of some of the schools that may be providing this particular training, because all we do is pay. And then I'll get more into that along with supportive services a little bit more in this presentation. And then also, we have supportive services, skill enhancement, short-term training certificates, and on-the-job training. On-the-job training is if you find an employer, being that you're already eligible, we can pay that employer up to $8,000 for your on-the-job training, which is a great incentive for an employer to hire you. We also have services offered, job search assistance, labor market information. For labor market information, we want to ensure that any occupation that you do decide to go into is in demand. And we'll get more with that with my counterparts here. We'll explain the Ohio Means Jobs with the labor market information. And then also local training provider information and career assessments. We have various workshops and career counseling if you're undecided and you want to know what training might be best suited for you. Additional services offered are individual opportunity plans. An individual opportunity plan is just a plan that identifies long and short-term goals. Also career planning, group and individual counseling, training up to 2 years. So you can actually go to school up to 2 years. If you already have an associate's degree, we can fund you up to 2 years for a bachelor's degree if it's in demand, or we can help you obtain an associate's degree if it's in demand, up to 2 years. And if you have a master's degree, we offer enhancements to those particular trainings. And they have various certificate programs that would enhance a master's degree that would make you more marketable and employable. Also, we provide literacy, so if you was to take one of our assessments and didn't score high enough for the occupation that you're going into, we do have free tutoring for math and reading. And then also the OMJ registration, which these two lovely, Miss Molly, it will be Miss Molly, this lovely lady here, who will tell you more about the Ohio Means Jobs, better known as OMJ, which you are required to register for. And then also the Employment Incentive Program. And as I previously mentioned about on-the-job training, that is where we would pay an employer up to $8,000 of your on-the-job training if you decided to go with employment versus training. And some of the training, occupational skills training that we have, you must meet eligibility criteria, which you all do. And then if you, once you go into training, you can receive up to $15,000. Now, within that $15,000, that does include the $8,000 for the on-the-job training. That's just an overall pot of money that is available to you through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And then also, as you can see, the on-the-job training, and it is a lifetime of $15,000. However, with this young man, there is no limit on how much you can receive. You being eligible for trade, it's the Cadillac of service. There is no limit. So you are dual purposeful, meaning that you don't have a limit with trade. So,
but that's still limited to 2 years though, is it?
It's still limited to 2 years. They still go through the suitability, ability and suitability, all those things. But in addition, when Kathy mentioned like the supportive services, if you're enrolled in a training program through TAA, you're still could be potentially eligible for supportive services through,
The
the WIOA program.
Mhm.
So it's basically everything that we can do to help you get through your training and into a new job. So definitely take advantage of it, let them know when you become unemployed.
Thank you. And then, who is eligible for WIOA? You must be legally authorized to work in the United States, of course, and 18 years of age, and all males born after 1960 must be registered for selective services. And if you're not registered for selective services, all you have to do is do a self-attestation to tell why you weren't registered for selective services when you turned 18. And appropriateness for WIOA, appropriateness is the same thing that he mentioned. Kirk mentioned. I don't know why I want to call you John, but Kirk mentioned about suitability. Suitability and appropriateness is all one and the same. And then we do look at a few factors: work history, previous education and training, criminal background, and all cases are a case-by-case review, and they all must be reviewed through a scholarship committee. And then, of course, the in-demand industries. These are just a few of the sectors that are in demand. Now, there are many more outside of the medical, information technology, transportation, which would be CDL, or heavy equipment, manufacturing, welding, HVAC. Those are just a few to mention that are in demand that we support. And then these are some of the training providers that we support. Not all, but just a few. And then supportive services, as Kurt so illustriously mentioned. We do provide supportive services, meaning that we'll pay for all your equipment, your tools, your books. We even provide supportive services in the amount of $150 Speedway gas cards every month. And,
Is that part of the 15,000?
no,
Or is that beside?
no, that's beside that. And there is no limit on supportive services, so I can't put a dollar amount on that. So if you were to go in to a field like an electrician and you needed $6,000 worth of tools, we would pay for that as a reimbursement, because we also provide supportive services to all the local unions within this area. We give them reimbursements for tools, uniforms, everything that they need, and it can exceed 10,000. There's no limit on supportive services, and we provide a monthly gas card from Speedway in the amount of $150. But what we won't pay for is electronics. We will not provide computers or software. The government won't pay for that. Any questions so far? And again, priority of services to all of our veterans. Thank you again. And then this is our beautiful mobile unit. There's nothing like it in the state of Ohio, and we pride ourselves on this. Inside that mobile unit is an operating system where we can take applications, we can go out into the areas of communities and provide services right on the spot to service individuals. That's how committed we are to providing excellent customer service to everyone that we serve within Montgomery County and outside of Montgomery County. And then this is another new addition to our services that we provide is the Employment Opportunity Center. And you can, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the west side of Dayton, Ohio, West Town. Over there, that used to be the Aldi's shopping market, and they turned it into the Employment Opportunity Center, where you can go in and utilize computers and do job search and whatever you need. We have employees that are on hand at that particular location off West 3rd Street.
They open at 8 to 5 also?
Yes. Yes, they do. And here's some of the addresses to where we're located. Of course, the one located on Edward C. Moses, the 1111 South Edward C. Moses, is where I mentioned the red door entrance with job services above it. And then the other employment opportunity is located on 3rd Street, which I just showed you. And these are the times that we have orientation, which you don't have to worry about that. That's why we're here, to give you a brief overview of the orientation so that you won't have to necessarily attend these sessions that are given Monday through Thursday, 2 at the jobs that are 9 to 1, 9 or 1, and then of course on 3rd Street just the 1 p.m., which would be no appointment necessary. So if you know someone or have family or friends, you could also tell them about the services that we provide. And here are the VOA contacts listed here. We have Marcita Williams, who's the team lead. We have Carla Creel and Brittany Corbett, who are the workforce supervisors. And then you have me, Kathy Black. And any one of us would be more than happy to serve you.
Is that in this package?
Yes.
Yes.
Any
So
questions?
with this program, does it also come with the employment? Is there a supplement with that, or?
No, it's just additional services that are provided for you.
So doing this doesn't take away from your?
No, not at all. It's just an enhancement.
It doesn't extend the unemployment either, like the TAA program.
Right, right.
That's the one unfortunate thing about WIO, it doesn't extend any unemployment benefits.
So if I go to a 4-year college, to say, just put it out there, does that extend through that program, the TAA?
It would just be 2 years maximum. So typically, wouldn't look, the only way typically that you would get a 4-year degree is if you already had the bulk of it completed. They may fund it to let you complete it. They're not going to fund 2 years and hope that you get the other 2 years in. Our goal, Kathy's goal, everybody's goal is to get you back to work as soon as possible. So they're going to look at more of a short-term, maximum 2 years. But if you're already enrolled, they could potentially finish it or get you some additional credentials. But they're not going to look at something starting at 0, pay for 2 years for you to finish in 4.
I'm asking because I have an associate's in law, so I was wondering if I could finish that out to a bachelor's, how long,
That you would have to check with your trade rep. I mean, that's something that you can ask them. If it could be finished within 2 years, quite possibly. I don't know what their stance on that is.
What if you have somebody that's already in school? They're employed now, they're in school.
As long as it's in demand, we could definitely pick them up.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you have a list of everything that's in demand?
It's on Ohio News Jobs, which is Molly will go over. Yeah, so, and once you get into the Ohio Means Jobs, you'll be able to navigate through there and find out all the employment, the jobs that are in demand. And it's identified as a thumbs up within the system. Because the goal is to get you back to employment. We don't want to set you up for failure by paying for an occupation that we already know you're not going to get a job.
If you are looking for something, if you're thinking about it, within the next couple weeks, I would really, look online, see what's out there, see what you're interested in. Utilize the Ohio Means Jobs resources. Talk to them. They have career counselors, coaches, I'm not sure what they're called here, but they can provide some guidance as well.
Yeah, I will be more than happy to, again, assist you. I can give you my business card at the end of the session. So you can contact me and ask any questions as far as in-demand opportunities that are available out there. I'd be more than happy to assist. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much. And I will turn it over to Ms. Molly.
Good morning. My name is Molly. I'm with Talent Services, with Montgomery County Business Services. Today we're gonna talk about connecting employers to candidates. So the talent services teams works with employers to connect job seekers, which meet their specific skill sets by searching various online job boards, reviewing resumes, hosting hiring events, job fairs, and reaching out to passive job seekers by phone and email to fill open opportunities at no cost to the companies or the job seekers. So what we do is we partner with local companies that are looking to add to their current staff and connect them with different job seekers that we meet through different hiring events, job fairs, unemployment, or just them walking in the red door systems. Okay, so we have a resource room. We have a computer bank of 30 computers. So if you don't have computer access at home, or whatever your situation is, you are more than welcome to come and use our computers. We do have job aids that can help you with the computer. So if you're having trouble with online job applications, job search, resume support, or access to OhioMeansJobs.com, we can help you with that. We also offer one-on-one engagement, so if you want to sit down and talk with someone one-on-one, a little bit more in depth, we offer that as well. So we can help you with resumes, cover letters, job search tactics, and mock interviews. We also provide workshops on those same topics on the first and third Tuesday of every month at the Job Center. A lot of great information is provided, and then again, also afterwards, you can follow up with a one-on-one for any of those topics that you need a little bit more assistance with. We also host on-site hiring events. As Kathy mentioned, we do have our mobile unit. I don't know if you've seen it outside, but it's there from 8 to 4 all week. We also will take that out to various employers, different companies that are having hiring events. We'll take it out to West Town. So you never know where you might see it at next. We are also at 1111 Evans and Moses Boulevard and through the red door. You can find us there from 8 to 5. So we have a team of about 10 recruiters, and we are assigned by industry. So if someone is assigned manufacturing, you want to stay in manufacturing, then we'll have partnered with 5 to 10 different local employers. So they may have an opportunity that you might be interested in. So what we'll do is we'll talk with you, find out what your interests are, your skill level, and tell you about those opportunities, what the requirements are, pay range, things like that. So here's OhioMeansJobs.com, and this offers a ton of great resources. I know you have to log in when you file for unemployment. You can do your job search. You can, so employers will post jobs, they can find candidates. So employers might reach out to you through Ohio Means Jobs for your contact information, tell you about their opportunities. Another thing about Ohio Means Jobs is there's information regarding labor market information. So if you're looking at considering changing careers, you can check out what the job description is, the requirements, salary range, and the number of opportunities that are available within the state of Ohio. And you can compare those different positions if you're not sure exactly what you want to do, or if what you want to do encompasses several different types of positions. And then the in-demand positions, as Kathy mentioned, they have a thumbs up. If you see a sun, it's a bright outlook, which means those industries are growing. But there's just a ton of great resources on Ohio Means Jobs, so definitely check them out. We have on-site hiring events. So next Wednesday, we are having a job fair at the Nutter Center from 12 to 4. Make sure you don't miss it. You can get registered now online, and I believe there's 80 employers registered. Oops. We do have various job fairs throughout the community. So like I mentioned earlier, we'll go out to different companies. We've had virtual job fairs. I know we had one last year, which was very well attended, currently in the state of COVID, but things are starting to open up and they're more one-on-one on site now, which is encouraging. These are just some of the companies that we partnered with. And then, as I mentioned, we're having one next week at the Nutter Center. We also offer pre-employment services for employers, so if you need to have a background check or an oral swab drug test, we do offer those services as well. And then here are your talent services contacts. Jesse Dunson is our workforce team lead, Susan Warren, who is our supervisor, and Fidel Lynch, who is our workforce program coordinator. You can definitely reach out to them, but we're gonna be here all week. You can go out to the mobile unit 8 to 4 and have your questions answered there as well. Any questions? Okay, well, if you do, definitely reach out. Thank you.
All right, good morning again. I'm Gina and I'll be covering the Family Assistance Division portion. So with the Family Assistance, they'll cover your SNAP benefits, cash assistance, which is known as TANF, Child Care, Title 20, and Medicaid. And then the service mission for Job and Family Services is protecting children and the elderly, strengthening families and individuals, and providing opportunities through coordinate services for the residents of Montgomery County. And then with the Family Assistance Division, they do cover TANF, SNAP, Title 20 Child Care, and then they also have a Prevention Retention Contingency Program, also known as PRC, and Medicaid, and as well as Adult Protective Services. And then some of the eligibility criteria for the requirements are proof of identity, birth, citizenship status, social security number, and proof of household income. And then ways to apply for TANF, SNAP, and Medicaid, you can do it online, by phone, or you can do a paper application. And then with the paper applications, you can go to the job center and you'll just enter through the blue doors for family assistance. And then TANF is available to pregnant women in their 3rd trimester or parents and specified relatives caring for minor children. And then some of the eligibility requirements are meet low-income guidelines, be a United States citizen, or meet TANF citizenship requirements, have or apply for a social security number, be an Ohio resident, cooperate with Child Support Enforcement Agency, and then participants may be required to be assessed and assigned to complete a work activity and enter into a written individualized opportunity plan or self-sufficiency contract prior to the authorization of benefits. And then some reporting requirements are if you do receive this benefit and you have a change in address, income, or living arrangement, or whoever's in the household becomes pregnant, they just request that you report that change within 10 days. And then for our comprehensive case management and employment program, it helps low-income young adults build career paths, find employment, and break the cycle of poverty. And then some eligibility requirements are available to most low-income young adults ages 14 to 24. Participants engage in meaningful employment and training activities, such as paid or unpaid work experience, career coaching, education and career training, and supportive services. And then for the SNAP benefits, it is to provide monthly benefits to supplement the food budget of eligible low-income households to purchase healthy food and move towards self-sufficiency. And then some of the requirements are you must be a U.S. citizen, and then some non-U.S. citizens may qualify. Customers must also be Ohio residents and verify their identity and social security number. And then if you're employed, they do go by the gross monthly income. and depending on your household status and size, a work activity may be required. And then just like TANF as well, when it comes to reporting any changes that occur in your household, just report it within 10 days. And then for Medicaid, it's a state and federally funded health program for certain low-income and medically vulnerable people to assist with the cost of medical expenses. Some people who qualify for the coverage are eligible low-income adults, children, and pregnant women, aged, blind, or disabled, nursing home, and waiver coverage for those requiring in-home services. And then the eligibility requirements are a United States citizen, have a social security number, and be an Ohio resident. And then if you are employed, they do go by your gross monthly income. And then with the Family Assistance Division, they do have the Prevention, Retention, and Contingency Program. It's a non-recurrent, short-term, crisis-oriented benefit to help needy, low-income families with essential supports to move out of poverty and become self-sufficient. And then some of the requirements are the families, which include a minor child or children, pregnant individual in their 3rd trimester, a non-custodial parent of a minor child residing in Montgomery County. And then applicant's income is compared to the federal poverty guidelines if not receiving a means-tested benefits. And then ways to apply for that, you can apply online. And then once you submit your application online, they will reach out to you by phone so that they can conduct an interview with you. And then there is a monetary cap for the PRC program, and assistance is limited to once every 12 months per covered service. And then for child care, Title 20, financial assistance to eligible parents to help them with child care costs while they engage in work, education, or job training. The qualifications for that is children below the age of 13 or children below the age of 18 with special needs. And then some of the eligibility requirements, if you are employed, they do go by your gross monthly income. And then some families may remain eligible up to 300% of the federal poverty guideline. And then all caretakers must be participating in qualifying activities, whether that be in employment, school, or training. And then applying for the child care or Title 20 is a little bit different. You can apply online or by email or by fax, or you can also do it in person at the job center. And did anyone have any questions about the benefits? Yes, sir.
During the SNAP and the Medicaid, does that, with the unemployment, do we have to submit that as well?
Yes, and then I noticed someone said that their last day will be July 1st. What I would recommend, because they do go by the last 30 days of your income, I would wait until that halfway point of July 15th to apply. And I would say if you call or do it online when you apply for your benefits, you can apply for the SNAP and Medicaid. And then they'll send you out a checklist of all the verifications that they'll need back from you. And if you received your letter stating the date, showing your last day of employment, you'll just submit that and then they'll be able to use that as verification. Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
So also with us today, we have a representative from the Department of Labor, and she's going to provide you with some information and answer some questions if you have those about their program.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Toya, and I'm a benefits advisor at the U.S. Department of Labor's Employee Benefit Security Administration. And what we do is we oversee the laws that help protect retirement and health benefits. So I'll be giving you some information today, and I do have these publications with me if anyone would like a copy. So we oversee ERISA, which is the Employee Retirement Income Security Act. It was an umbrella of laws that was passed many, many years ago that gave employers certain minimum standards they have to meet when they sponsor retirement or health benefit plans. But it also gives certain rights and protections to the participants and beneficiaries of the plans. And like I said, some I'll go over today. So the main topics I'll be covering today is health insurance options and how to protect your retirement assets. We do have a team of advisors like myself that's available